Hey everybody, it's RDV coming back to you with another top five on Tuesday nights. Hope you guys are having fun. Hope you guys have your picks ready because I have mine. I know Zach has his. Zach's just sharing out the stream, so if you guys could do that too, it'd be awesome. I'll just turn my volume down on my phone because I like to watch myself because no one else will. So for those who are wondering what the top five is, if this is your first time being here, what we do is we take five books from both our pull lists, and these are the books we're looking forward to reading this week. So, uh, every week though, they as far as sometimes are because we follow up on Thursdays. Sometimes the books that we choose tonight don't end up in the top five on our Thursday nights for the best books of the week. So if you're following along with this, it's kind of cool interaction because you get to like not only the books you're looking forward, excited to, you make your list. You can leave it in a comment down below, and basically tune in on Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. And basically, what we're gonna do, yeah, we'll just see if your books and my books for our top five tonight match up. Because sometimes I gotta admit, books do suck. They look good on
What?
the cover, right?
There are bad comic books? What?
Yeah. So, and we also ask you if you haven't already done so, please click like and subscribe. It helps out the channel and helps you get to you, the viewers, get to see us. And well, hope you guys have fun doing this. As far as watching us, because we have fun talking to you guys. Right now, it's just Zach in the chat and me watching. So I guess people forgot it's Tuesday night, so that's all right though. But anyway, I'm just gonna share my screen right here. It's
It's
going.
because they found out I'm not showing my face on screen tonight. Nobody's here to look at the beard and everything. Everyone wants to see how the lumberjack beard
You
is
know,
going.
it's got to be something else. It's got to be because we have a freakishly huge winter storm warning coming on.
I know, it's so big. It's even coming down to Louisiana. It's going to be like 24 degrees here, they're saying, by Christmas.
I gotta say, I love looking at the Midwest memes going around. They're like, how much snow we're gonna get? 1 to 78 inches? We don't know. Yeah, I'm expected to get unfriendly 8 inches.
8 inches? Wow, that's impressive. Not bad for a white Christmas.
And a negative 25 wind chills and 50 mile per
That
hour
sounds.
gust
Oh
winds.
God, that just made me negative 25. It's like you're in Antarctica or something. Good Lord. Nowhere in the United States should it be under zero.
Well, back in the 70s, they used to get like such huge snow drifts to the point where you couldn't even see your car. You could hide your car behind a snowbank in your own driveway because you had that tall drifts, and then the wind and everything. So, yay for snow and yay for winter. And
Hey, yay for Skip. We got my twin in the chat.
what's up, Skip, man? We're just starting here, letting people fill in right now. See, we got 4 people watching right now. That's good. And so you at least got someone other than Skip and me watching. All right. So that being said, I'm gonna jump right into my number 5 here.
It's a pretty big week for me this week.
Dude, there's a lot of books here, so I had to narrow it down to 5.
I know. It's crazy. Like last week, right? Like I had to find books to add to my list, and this week it's like I have a dozen to choose from. It's crazy.
Yeah. So my number 5. I'm going a little different here. Going with the Myths and Legends Quarterly, Blood of the Gods, $9 book, and I believe it's 72 pages. It's usually what they are for the quarterlies. And it's a follow-up, basically, to a previous quarterly book that I got a couple months ago. And this follows Hellchild, basically hunting down the scum of the world who think they are too particular to worry about. Basically, she just murders a bunch of villains. And then you also got guest starring Gretel, who's the witch hunter. So basically the following up with that. So every time I see these two cross over, it's kind of cool. Man, I guess I everybody knows I love cheesecake, but I also love the fact that when you actually get like good art on top of that, and also not only that, you get good storytelling. You can have pinups, but if you don't have a story, to me that's kind of boring. I want both. I mean, no matter whether it's pinups or if it's superheroes, dude, I want to be entertained, and that's what it comes down to. That's why it's on my number 5.
Nice.
We had
Very
people.
cool.
I had to read. What's up to Brain? I had to read his tweet twice because I was like, we had people in the river. No, yeah, driving on the river. Yeah, dude. Yeah, 77. Yeah, the 70s are crazy cold. So that's why, like, I'm looking right now. The storm. This reminds me of like that because I think that our 30 years warm cycle, global warming is over. We're back to going
Oh,
global
yeah.
cooling.
Well, that's what happens, right? The world goes through. There's times where it goes through that it's extra warm, and there's other times where it's on the chilly side.
Right. So,
Notice they don't call it global warming anymore. They call it climate change
of
because
course, because
it's
the
not
kid.
warm anywhere.
Well, technically, they are right though. It's climate change, but it's a natural cycle. It's not.
Yeah,
Man-made.
exactly. It's not man-made. Exactly.
So,
or if it is, it's a very tiny percentile.
That's why I always laugh when I see Greta. It's like, oh, climate change. I'm like, yeah, we know it's climate change. You don't know what it means though.
Yeah, right.
It's like, go back to
school.
The problem is that she went to school. Get out of school. Go to private school. Get out of public school. They're trash.
There you go. But we're not going to get political. We're going to stick with the funny books. We're going to stick with the comics tonight. And
speaking of funny books, let's go to your number 5.
All right, my number 5 this week is the only Tom Taylor book that is any kind of enjoyment out there on the shelf.
How dare you?
No, not Nightwing. No.
It's DC.
Although I've heard it's not as bad as others have made it out to be. I'm not sure. I haven't read it. No, I'm talking about DC's War of the Undead Gods. This is issue number 5, with a pretty sweet cover actually, with Lobo and the Spectre, and he's going after Supergirl. You can catch her reflection there in the hook. He kind of made an appearance at the end of the last issue, and I'm really excited. Or not the end. In the middle, he got recruited by I think a Thanagarian to come in and start fighting the
because
that are in space now.
In this version, it's supposed to be like 5 years after the whole thing. It's like 6 or 7 anyway, where John is basically taking over the mantle of his dad.
Well, no, his dad's back.
I know his dad. Yeah, I was saying while his dad was gone, he took over. He basically became like the new Superman. And Damian became Batman. So and Supergirl, they showed her this the previous issue, 2 issues ago.
No, issue number 1.
Was it issue? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
She was a zombie. She got turned in issue number 1.
She crash land onto basically the New Gods planet.
Yeah,
so crashing onto Earth, and then she got infected there with the anti-equation.
Yep. So yeah, Supergirl's bad. Darkseid is a zombie and a Yellow Lantern. You've got a bunch of Green Lantern Corps members. A bunch of characters from the previous entries are showing up here.
Now, and I gotta point out, the Lobo I've been seeing lately is the old Lobo, not this skinny feminine Lobo.
Yeah, that's Twilight Lobo from the New 50. That was a New 52 thing, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they've long since got
quickly rid of it back though.
They've gone back to Macho Lobo. But
look at this cover though.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet actually. I kind of like that one. It's really cool. We've got they're about to do this fight. Ares, the god of war, has shown up and kind of there's this lore that the zombie outbreak virus is actually just part of this larger system that happens in the universe every couple millennia or something. But it's been a cool story. Tom Taylor, people don't like him much the in continuity stuff, but Elseworlds he does really, really good. This has been the 3rd volume, the 3rd time he's come back with it, and it's still a blast to read.
Mm-hmm.
So totally recommend it. You're getting inks, by the way, by Andy Lanning. Big fan of Andy Lanning's, especially when it comes to like cosmic comic books. So definitely recommend check it out. It's a good time.
All right. And hello to we got the traditionalist showing up again. What's up, man? What's up, Ash? And hello to Maranya. Thank you for joining.
Ooh, Ash reminded me I have pie in the fridge. I'll wait till later.
Yes.
No
And,
cake, but I do have pie.
And a shout out to Skibotage for finding out that Mark Millar has a channel on YouTube.
Does he really?
So does Ash. That's what, apparently nobody knows that because we said that multiple times on streams. We've talked about Mark Millar. You talked about it last night.
I actually missed y'all stream last night. I was exhausted. I went to bed early last night. I completely missed y'all stream. I was so bummed out. I couldn't believe it.
So I gotta say though, I'm getting this book, but it's not in my top 5 though because it's kind of fallen away to the side compared to some of the other books I've been reading. But this is the cover I'm getting. I've been getting these. These are the ones that the cover flips open and then you see the actual picture.
That one's cool. I like that. I think Dinah has been one of the more interesting characters because first of all, they quote unquote kill all of the original Justice Leaguers off, and that Dinah becomes the new Green Lantern on Earth.
They quickly kill off Hal.
Hal was the first one to go, I think, actually.
And then I believe John Stewart.
No, Batman. No, John Stewart, I think, was still around. I think.
Is he? Okay, I can't remember.
Him and Guy and Kyle, I think, are still around.
Kai, okay, you're right. They are still around. It's just that only help if it does.
Hal was off on a camping trip with Dinah and happened.
So overall, though, I mean, she's got her Canary Cry, she's got a Green Lantern ring, and she's got a freaking sword. Like, what the heck? It's a cool.
Yeah, she's got the Amazonian sword. I think it was like for kryptonite or something. It was supposed to be able to go after Superman when he was a zombie.
Yeah, it was actually Wonder Woman's, I believe, wasn't it?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
All right, so that's your number 5. All right, so my number 4 is a book that it should be no brainer. It's coming out this week, and it's just a fun book, and I'm just gonna figure out where it is now because there it is, World's Finest.
Wow, this is number 4?
Yeah.
Wow, it's falling down the list.
Just a little bit because the other books are coming out the same week.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, like I said, just because they're in this order in my list doesn't mean that they might be a different order later on when I read them.
Yeah.
But it's for Thursday nights. So. Anyway, so yeah,
because I know World's Finest is normally like up at the top, like in the 1 or 2 spot. So it's down.
It is, 4. I know, but like as other books have been coming out, and we're reading them. And there's just so many good books coming out this week. So I'm like, oh man, which one to really good story I'm enjoying the most?
Right.
Like, I'm like, I kind of feel like for me, it's a number 4 because the new sidekick hero, just not feeling it. I'm just
really?
Yeah, it's starting to take its toll. It's like, come on, can we like move past this? Are we turning him into a villain, or what's going on? But overall, the Boy Thunder, yes, I'm talking about the new sidekick, and like, okay, it's cool. I do like the fact that they have the Teen Titans in this, and then if you really want to, you can get the Paul McCartney singing in the Batcave with Superman.
Yeah, that one's
the most
weird.
Stupidest cover I've ever seen, but
more stupid than the one where Jerry Seinfeld is in the Batmobile with him.
I didn't never seen that one, but that
was why I think that was like one of the 1,000 variants they did for issue number 1.
So they got the Batmobile with the hubcap, the bats on the hubcaps. I just noticed. I don't know. Looks like Jimmy Olsen in the back.
Could be. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I love the costume designs, throwback to like the original. But of course, they're making fun of the whole Paul McCartney "Wonderful Christmas Time." And then you also notice that she's wearing Supergirl is wearing the headband, upper right corner.
Oh yeah.
So now they have to like, I don't know, how did they get Paul McCartney in there? Does he now know who Batman is?
Well, it's a variant cover. I'm not going to do.
I know. So here's the Batman '89 though. The Dan Schoening, the guy who basically does the Ghostbuster stuff.
Yeah, Batman '89 and the Superman with Gene Hackman.
Yep. We also got Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Where does he get those wonderful toys?
And he has the Bat wing. So little nifty little treats here. I mean, like, I wish these weren't just instead of doing variants, just do them as posters.
I don't get that. Yeah, that one right there, I don't really understand. Like, yeah, what's the point of this?
You know what I'm thinking of?
Is this like for cons? Like you take it to and like you just go find an artist to do like a little head sketch in the middle?
Well,
like,
you know what it reminds you of? Because remember, it wasn't November where everybody does their own sketches on online in the artist group.
Yeah, it's either October or November, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it looks like.
It kind of does remind me of that. Yeah,
and you wonder when these covers were made. Were they made during November and they just finally come out now?
Could have been. Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. Yeah.
So, but still, wouldn't get that cover. And then here's the one in 50 instead of with of course, Doomsday.
Joker riding Doomsday. Yeah.
He's holding onto his hair. Dumb.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going with the main cover. The main cover, to me, is the best.
Yeah.
It basically tells you who's in the story, and who's the villain is. And I love Dan Moore's Joker art.
I love the playing card motif, like the thing whenever he does. Like he did that. There was a Justice League International cover with the Joker on it, and all the different members were on the playing cards. I like that whole theme.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was a book that came out last week where the Joker had his face. Oh no, sorry, it was Spawn. Batman Spawn. You want to see the most horrific Joker? That's what. For those who know, it's callback to basically it takes place when Joker had his face cut off.
Oh, what was that? In the New 52?
I think so. Yeah, and he stapled it on.
Yeah, that was gnarly. Oh my god.
So Greg Capullo art doing that, and I said go check out Batman Spawn just for the art alone. The story's all right, but overall the art is like the best thing about that book. So, and I'm not a Spawn fan. I got it for Greg Capullo's art because he's cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's why this is my number 4, World's Finest. I want to spend too long on this. All right, let's get to your number 4.
All right, my number 4 is, I'm actually surprised it's a little lower than I thought it would be, but it's just gotten started, and we're going into issue number 2. It's a miniseries, and it's from my favorite DC writer, Mr. Jeff Johns. This is Stargirl and the Lost Children, issue number 2. Todd Knock doing the art. There's also some really fun covers. I really like the Sean Galloway cover. It's like a 1 in 25. I'm going to see if that one's available. And if it is, I'm going to go for that one. But
this is a fun series.
This started out. Did you really?
I read it today.
Oh, well, don't spoil it for me.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm going to tell you right now, though, it's... I like this over the JSA book, the main ongoing. And this is the way Jeff Johns should be doing the books. He's going to do JSA with this stuff. I love this.
That's a cool one, too. Yeah, I like that one, too.
The way he draws Steel in this.
Yeah, Steel looks...
not Steel. I mean, not Steel. I mean...
Stripes.
Stripesy, yeah.
Yeah, Stripesy looks awesome. And, yeah, Stargirl looks like she looks really tiny in that one. But, I mean, I guess... I like Stripesy, like when he's like the big, huge robot, like he was in the show.
Yeah, but, this is obnoxious.
I like that one. I follow this guy on Instagram. His art style.
I don't like the cocaine noses. Okay.
No, I dig it, dude. He's got a really cool style. I dig it a lot.
It's like freaking Goof Troop. Every time you see the nose.
Well, I like it, but. Anyway, no, the first issue was really fun. It has Courtney and Emiko going off looking for these lost, forgotten child superhero sidekicks from the Golden Age. And we didn't really get a whole lot of action. It laid a lot of groundwork. It laid down some exposition. So I think going into issue number 2, I'm expecting the story to pick up a little bit. It's Jeff Johns writing Stargirl, and Jeff Johns does a great job writing for DC in general, I feel. But when it comes to Stargirl, I feel like he gives it that extra oomph. And so, I'm really looking forward to reading this and continuing the series.
Yeah,
really good stuff.
Marania, when it comes to the variants, like if the book is good enough alone, to me having a variant is a bonus. And this is one of those books, where I don't mind picking up the variants because the books are great, man. Jeff Johns, like you said, he is JSA.
Well, also buying variants. I mean, the more good books with variants, like the more copies you buy, I think that does send some message to the higher ups. Hopefully. Yep. Like if people are buying multiple issues of Stargirl or World's Finest or Flash, hopefully that's like a sign to them, like, hey, we need to up these books. We need to make sure that the production on these continues.
Yeah, unless it's James Gunn at the helm, then he says, "Screw you guys."
I'm not getting into this with you today. I'm not doing this. We're talking about the comic books, sir. I'm not doing this. We can have a separate stream and we can debate on that another time. But no, with the comics though, you almost got me. But no, this has been really fun. Some of the characters in this, you're gonna have Green Arrow, you're gonna have Speedy, Hal Jordan's in here, Black Canary, but then you've also got like the Star Spangled Kid, Shining Knight, Vigilante, Stripesy, and then some cool villains like Clock King, Dark Archer, and Count Vertigo. So, really, really cool. If you like Todd Knox art, if you like Jeff Johns, if you like kid superheroes, definitely one worth looking at.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact this is not ongoing. I want ongoings. I'm just tired of all the 6-issue stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it never used to be that way, Marvel and DC, and all of a sudden that's all it is now, is 6-issue this, 6 or 12-issue this. If something is an ongoing, it's Harley Quinn. Why is that getting ongoing? Or some of the like they hardly have any ongoings, really. I said everything is basically.
Well, I mean, you've got Batman, you've got World's Finest, you've got Detective, you've got Flash.
My thing
Woman and Nightwing are somehow.
Now, my only way I would excuse this, because if they want to do ongoing, is they don't do these series and they ties into another one, ties another one. And because that's basically what Zenoscope does with their quarterly books.
Mm-hmm.
That will are their annual. It's basically like their annual, and basically they give you like 32 pages or they give you 72 pages, and then they'll tie into another series going down the road.
I think you are seeing that, I think, with some miniseries. Like what was it, Joshua Williamson's Robin? Parts of that did tie into like the Batman versus Robin that's going on right now. There are bits of that, or over at Marvel, you're seeing that a lot with some of the miniseries over there as well. So, I mean, it's all right, but I like to pick up a copy like Flash, so it's like issue 780 something, or Moon Knight issue number 30. I like to have larger issue number. I don't want to get up to 12 and then have to go back to a new number 1.
Yep. But, Marani, I heard you saying they do buy the garbage share books, beta. It says a message, but at this point, Marvel and DC, whether you buy bad books or buy good books, they have an agenda for the most part. It's refreshing to see some of these, or they actually this is how they, and I hate to be pessimistic, but this is basically like, I admit it, I fall in this trap every time. They will put out occasionally good books that get you like, hey, start buying, and then they'll start throwing in the crap books like Megan Fitzmartin stuff. They're like, oh, Robin's great, and they get the new Robin series, like, what the hell did they do to Tim? But like I said, I was looking at this now with comic books. If we didn't have social media, I wonder how much this crap they'd be doing, because there's no one to pander to.
Huh. Well, the funny thing is, the people that they are pandering to on Twitter don't even buy the books.
We say that, but
no,
some of them do buy books.
Some of them do, but it's not nearly as many as they think there are. What was that? I think it was like Mark Millar that posted. He had like somebody in like PR that found out like only, I think it's either 15,
Yeah.
maybe 25 at the most. 25% of comic book readers are on Twitter. I think that number is high. It might be like 15 or 20, but it's a very small percentage of comic readers and like regular customers that are actually on Twitter.
It's getting to the point where hardly anybody's buying comic books now these days. And if there are people buying it, yeah, there are people who are buying every single cover, or they're buying a series that I guess that most of us would look down upon. People were buying Justice League back in the Rebirth. I don't care for Justice League, but apparently that was good. I'm not saying
it was Jeff Johns. I think Jeff Johns was doing the writing for it.
It was Scott Snyder, wasn't it?
No. Scott Snyder took over after Death Metal. In Rebirth, it was actually Jeff Johns.
So like I said, I don't care for the Avengers. I don't care for that. So if people buy that, people buy the X-Men. You can argue like they have a better writer on it though, but I've always looked at some of these Justice League or something though. I just don't care for the story. But I don't know. Like I said, it's another whale of a topic to tackle. All right, so I'm gonna get to my number 3. No.
Number 3.
So World's Finest was number 4. So my number 3 is well, it's a book we've both been enjoying tremendously, and weather outside is frightful with the roads, man.
Flash didn't even make it to number 1. Man, what on earth is your number 1 book of the week? I am in shock.
I'm shocked that you don't know the books are coming out this week. You don't know what it is because it's a book.
If it's what I think it is, I'll actually be very disappointed in you. If it's what I think it is, wow. Because this is like the book. But all right. I'll never mind. Continue.
All right. So basically, well, we've seen this before in some of the. I think actually in Joshua Williamson we saw that, but they weren't villains, where the rogues were actually the good guys, from the future, helping them out. And the warden, who shockingly is corrupt. Yes, the warden. Gregory Wolf. You're like, wait, what? Like a black character is a villain in the story? What? Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's DC. I never would have thought that. But anyway, yeah. So he doesn't want the rogue. He wants the rogues to keep the Flash busy because he knows the Flash is going to interfere the pants. He's also working with Blacksmith, is the villain's name. So we have Weather Wizard, Mirror Master, Heatwave, Trickster, the first one, and Captain Cold, and all working together to take down the Flash in this. $4, 32 pages. Jerry Adams just basically knocks out of the park. And I said, if you're looking for the nuclear family, you're basically those who loved Jonathan Kent running around when he was young before they aged him up, with the Happy Family. You're gonna find the Happy Family with the Rogues. Not the Rogues, but well, they are a happy family. For the most
They're
part.
Family. I can't deny that.
It's all about family.
It's all about family.
Well, basically the Flash. Wally's back he's been reunited with his wife in the Joshua Williamson run. He's also reunited with his kids, and so far his kids got powers, and they have a third one on the way. And then Linda's got speed powers because she's pregnant with their third child. And basically Wally is working for Mr. Terrific at his lab. And you just get a lot of cool crossovers with the other characters in here too. So it's I said I've just been loving this since Rebirth. This is the best ongoing comic book
since New 52. I would say even I think you could go back to when it was Barry and New 52
from Flashpoint. Do you think maybe?
I think so. I think if you started with Flashpoint, Flash and Aquaman have been the two most consistently good titles. Then they made it Aquaman. They ditched Arthur. Yeah. So that ruined Aquaman. But I think you can go back to Flashpoint, and Flash has been just the most. It's been a consistent title. There haven't been these crazy ups and downs. Like Superman, okay, you had Tomasi on it, and it was a big up, but then you put Bendis on it and it just dropped. The level of quality went up and down. Flash has been consistent. I would even say it's climbed and gone up over the years.
Do you see this Spy versus Spy?
I saw, yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That's just a really weird character choice because he's got like Death from Sandman in there too, with Wonder Woman and Flash. But
it looks like the Justice League's outside.
Yeah, that's the same artist you didn't like on the Stargirl cover though, Sean Galloway. That's the same guy.
It's weird.
Doing the cocaine nose. You said
this looks like Teen Titans Go. In a sense, they got Swamp Thing. They're bigger than the Christmas tree.
He does a more all ages, kind of more childlike art style, but I like it. I think it's charming. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I didn't even notice Swamp Thing. Actually.
Oh. Jeez, man! If you had 30 minutes 54 seconds before Ash started talking about furries, you won.
Oh, God, why can't I get away from furry? Ash, you're the one who buys the furry books. Good Boy number 2 supposedly comes out this week, and I know you're buying it. Goodness, that's a pretty neat cover though, with the Mirror Master. The art style's a little simplistic for my taste, but
it's a little bright.
Bright, yeah, really bright. A lot of white on there. Too much white for me.
Yes.
Waiting for somebody to say, wait.
Overall, I said, what?
What?
Who say what?
Who
Your
said what?
Buys the furry books, not me.
Yeah, he's saying to me that Skip buys the furry books.
Well, we're gonna have to pour one out for Samurai Doggy with Aftershock going under.
Oh wow, Samurai was an Aftershock comic?
Yep.
Oh, that is a bummer. Oh, dude.
Filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Yeah.
I heard they filed bankruptcy. I didn't realize Samurai Doggy was published by them.
Yep. And that's why it's been delayed.
Wow. Well, yeah.
So now at least Ash knows why it's been delayed.
Yeah, I know that was the thing for a while.
I also pour one out for Terror and the boys. We lost a dog last night.
Wow, I guess it's a good thing that I missed that stream.
I know, right?
I didn't need a sad the dog death story last night. I'm glad I missed that.
They basically turned Butcher into John Wick now.
Oh.
After the guy who
he wasn't badass
kills
enough?
a dog. He went after the guy who he thinks killed his dog, but did he really kill the dog? Or is it someone else? Tune in next Monday as we continue our boys discussion on Ash Comics.
Yes, Ash. Thank God I didn't know that the dog died.
Oh.
That now I do know.
Yeah. Do you wanna send Ash? I think Ash wants a link.
I can go ahead and do that. I can DM him. I'll hit him up.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Ash. I forgot. My bad. I'm getting old.
He is. He's 4 years older than me.
You know, right? All right. So that was we're on mine. So let's go to your number 3.
All righty, my number 3. Now hold on, because I am all of a sudden juggling several things here. Give me
just tell me the name of the title. I can look it up here.
My number 3, as I'm okay. My number 3. Oh, I have an indie book. Here we go. Oh,
indie book.
Yeah. Ash says he doesn't want the link. He just wants to whisper sweet nothings in your DMs. That's weird. What are y'all doing in DMs?
I don't know.
I'm curious now.
I thought DM standard for Dan Mora.
It should stand for Dan Moore. Dan Moore is awesome. Anyway, my number 3 is another Jeff Johns book, the only other one that I know of that's out this week, coming out through Image Comics, and that is Junkyard Joe, which has been a delight to read. We are getting Junkyard Joe number 3 out.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, different Joe. Very different Joe. But with art by Gary Frank. He also does a cover. I believe.
He's watching you. Better be good.
Yeah, right.
It's Santa Claus.
It's got a Rambo vibe actually, like the last issue and maybe this one, but the last issue kind of almost had like a Rambo.
Yeah, with the cops showing up.
Mm-hmm. Like
Or
when he
I
comes,
guess when we think of the cops, actually it's not the cops because the cops we saw what happened to them.
Yeah, right.
It's more like Universal Soldier.
Yeah, maybe.
You think about it. For those who don't know what that is, that's just an Uncut Van Do movie. It came out in the 80s with Dolph Lundgren. And they were basically soldiers, and then and turned into basically weapons for the U.S. military. So one of them defected, and they pursued him. Now they're pursuing Junkyard Joe in this book because he went rogue.
He went rogue. That's right, because he didn't just up and return to base. He stayed in Nam, but. After White, that's a cool cover. I was looking at that one. That is like I thought it was just Spawn at first, and I was like, "What's that green light and the dog?"
That's Geiger.
That's Geiger and his two-headed dog.
Yep.
So that's a pretty sweet cover. I may get that one if it's at the LCS. And then they have the other one too. That's a little bit more cartoony, but it's by Gary Frank and Brad Anderson. It's kind of done in that comic strip style. It's got the whole Junkyard Platoon, Junkyard Squad. That looks like a really fun cover as well. But yeah, this has been a really neat story. So it's starting in issue 2 and going on to this one. It's in the present day. Issue 1 was what took place during the Vietnam War. And then issue 2 and presumably going into 3.
Is it like 50 years later?
Yeah, it's like 50 years later. Muddy Davis, who is the creator, who's this artist, he drew these comic strips for Junkyard Joe. He's old now. He's retired. He's got new neighbors that moved in that are going to play a part in the story. And Joe has returned to find his old platoon buddy, and he's got his creators are searching for him because like we mentioned he did go rogue in issue number 1. So yeah, I'm really curious in seeing where this goes, and I'm looking for any kind of clues or anything that lead to like this creation of this whole world that Jeff Johns is making. Because I think it's going to be really awesome. When we get like the Red Coat and all these other characters that he's been creating for the Geigerverse. I think it's going to be really, really cool.
All right. Hello to Ash.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So, you shouldn't be giving away our secrets. You're going to whisper Dan Moore in my ear. You know how that gets me.
Yeah, I do. That's why I was telling you to check your DMs.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I can. They're spicy.
Y'all are really weirding me out. This is Christmas time, y'all. Come on, keep it PG.
It was PG. You have a problem with people? You have a problem with people whispering comic creators to each other because we're comic fans? What's wrong with you, Zach? I thought you were a comic fan.
You said
you're a poser.
Spicy DMs. That could mean anything.
PG.
Hot sauce.
Pretty good.
Spicy.
Oh,
I thought you were from Louisiana. I thought you were a comic fan. You're from Louisiana. You're a poser. You're not even a real Louisianan.
That's right. Hey, I'm also not a racist either. Let's see if they.
We won't go that far. We had.
There's got to be something that's real about you.
So I'm liking this. It's like another MASH thing. That's what it looks like to me.
It kind of does, right?
Or
kind of reminds me of Beetle Bailey.
Or Beetle Bailey. That's the other one. Yeah.
That's the one that first came to mind. I was actually almost expecting to see Beetle or like the sergeant guy with that chef-looking hat that they drew him with. I was expecting to see him, but then I was like, oh wait, no, that's a different thing.
So Ash, you have a top 3, right?
Oh, I'm sure I've got more than a top 3.
Oh, he has more than 3 books he's getting this week.
All right, so if you want to give us...
I've got 6 books.
What's the
6 books?
What?
It's insane.
Yes.
You want to start with your number 5?
And I have, let me see. Give me half a second here. I might even be able to do some cool magic.
Oh, magic tricks, y'all. This is
sorry, we're not in the magic. We're gonna pull that crap here. We're scientific people here. Science-based magic.
It's the science?
The science.
You know what? Don't correct me, magic user.
And you know what? Hey, and not to discriminate against any of our Jewish viewers. Happy Hanukkah, as Maranya is pointing out in the chat. We don't want to leave y'all out.
I really appreciate that Zach has to go out of his way to make sure he feels Jewish people aren't discriminated
I'm
against.
I'm reading Maranya's chat.
You know, he didn't say Happy Kwanzaa.
I'm taking up. I'm filling the time while we're waiting for Ash's magic trick to manifest.
Yeah, I'm having I think that my program crashed here. Give me
Okay. Well, hey, while he's waiting to see if it's completely crashing, happy Kwanzaa. Anyone's watching this that celebrates Kwanzaa.
It comes out so fake after I said it. You're like, maybe they
Say
won't
something
know.
else. Say something else.
Did you think the Happy Hanukkah sounded legit too?
Do you want me to say happy winter solstice? I mean,
Well, the fact
that
he went to go praise the Jewish people and say Happy Hanukkah first before anything else, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows where his allegiance is.
I know people that celebrate Hanukkah. I don't know anybody.
Overcompensating, Zach.
I know people. It's like,
oh, good Lord.
Trying to.
You know what I say? Merry Christmas.
Not even for Christmas.
I don't care about anything else.
Not even for Christmas.
Yeah, why don't you tell Jewish people Merry Christmas? That's what I tell Jewish people is Merry Christmas. I don't tell them Happy Hanukkah.
Or I say Feliz Navidad.
I tell them both.
No, I say Merry Christmas.
I say both.
I say, Merry Christmas, you killed our Lord.
Oh,
repent.
Pretty much. How dare you?
Oh my goodness. I need something stronger than this coffee.
Yeah, I say Merry Christmas, and then we have we go have some ham, and drink some eggnog.
I'm actually not having ham we're not having ham at my parents' house for Christmas this year. My mom wants to do something not traditional. She wants to shake things up a little bit, so she told me they're doing hamburgers.
What? You know what's funny? It's not the craziest thing I've heard. My sister is like, because she can't cook a turkey, and she says, "Is that?" Yeah, we're supposed to go by her house, and it's like, and we're gonna have chili.
Oh, hey, you know what? I wish. I wonder if it's too late to ask.
We had pizza for Thanksgiving, and chili for Christmas. It's like we made a turkey here for Thanksgiving because I knew it was gonna be something stupid like that.
I wonder if it's too late to ask for chili because this is supposed to be cold. Like it's gonna be freezing down here for Christmas.
Well, chili is a good New Year's food.
Chili or
it's kind of a traditional
chili
and tamales. I got a bunch of tamales this year. I'm so dude. Costco. I'm the Costco salesman. By the way, I'm eating Costco chicken right now.
Oh.
It is fantastic. Costco's got these amazing tamales. That holy shit. Anyways.
So I can imagine Ash just has the whole rotisserie from Costco.
Yeah, I do. I got the rotisserie chicken. They're $5. You can't even get a raw chicken for $5.
Yeah, that's true.
My store, they're like $10 for a whole chicken.
I think it's like $11 for like a cooked one, a cooked rotisserie
$6,
chicken.
I think it is, and Kroger's, Walmart, I think is like this around the same price.
Like a raw chicken or a cooked chicken?
The rotisserie, cooked rotisserie chicken. The one that's usually sitting up at the register in the little thing. It's like,
All
right, we're doing top 5, right?
Yes.
Top 5, sir.
Let me get these here in order.
Wait. Slow cooked pork and krauts. Oh, the poor Germans.
Poor Germans, nothing.
Wait. Krauts. Who eats eating? Isn't that like cannibalism? Eating krauts?
Sauerkraut.
Well, that's what the slow
sauerkraut is something different. Krauts are Germans.
I know. That's why I said. That's why I read it.
It's like, wait, what?
There are sour ones, and there are ones that taste good. It's slow. Cooked.
Oh my goodness.
I think I have this in order.
I guess having like the weird food on Christmas doesn't surprise me if you live a place where there's no snow. You're weird to begin with.
All right, let's see here. You can put the window on me. My number 5. Oh wait, we're only doing. Am I doing all 5 or just one at a time? Like,
well, we just did 3, so go
we just
5
did
to 3.
So you can go 5 to
5
3.
to 3. Okay.
And I'll just show them.
Oh no, just just blow my window up.
Blow your window up.
Blow my window up.
Blow me up. Dynamite on it.
All right. I don't want to give you a solo layout. I guess I'll just do.
You can do the one where the little windows are on the side. I don't care.
It's kind of hard to do because I'm sharing the other screen.
Oh my goodness.
This is easy.
All right.
Speaking of furry books.
So, by the way, I need to explain to you laymen, furry books aren't books that just happen to have animals. Furries is something completely different. If it has an animal in it, doesn't make it a furry. If you have relations with said animals, or
your screen's really dark.
My screen's really dark.
Yeah.
Is it not showing up?
Oh, it looks darker than normal. That's all.
Oh. All right. I don't know.
I think it's just no. I think it's fine. I think it's just League of Comics.
If I switch over, I do the infinite screen.
See, look at that. Is that white? It looks dark, like off-white when he switches. That's what I was confused about. So
I don't know what to say. My pages are yellowing. I'm getting old. So Good Boy. I just get this book for shits and giggles. It's a cartoon animal book with dogs, and I love John Wick. I just get a kick out of this book. You can't get it digitally, so I just have fun collecting it. Don't know what else to say. Nothing bad to say. Nothing great to say. I think it's going to appeal to people who like what they think it is. Like it's there. It's fun. That's my number 5. My number 4, Vanish, by our boy Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, one of the best duos in the current comic industry. I'm a big fan of Ryan Stegman. I don't know why. He's not like the best artist ever, but there's something appealing about his style. Yeah, the cover here is actually, I'm getting the B covers. These are our boy Daniel Warren Johnson. So the A cover actually looks like this, and it's fine. This is kind of actually kind of a Venkman looking cover.
That looks like Red Sonja and Magog.
Yeah. A little bit.
Could be. But yeah, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Daniel Warren Johnson. By the way, Good Boy 7 wrapped up the series. Holy crap, what an amazing series. Anyone that's read that book, we want to talk later. I think Skip's probably read it. I'm curious to what he thought, actually. What an amazing run. That's a great book. So that's number 4, Vanish number 4. And number 3, coming down the pike towards the end, Berserker, number 11. This has been kind of a slow burn comic. I don't know if it needed to be 12 issues, which is what I understand it's going to be. I feel like the story probably could have been 6 issues. I think I'm having suspicions that Keanu probably like gave an outline of the story idea that he had, and then kind of handed it off, and like they just knew like they wanted 12, so like they're just stretching it. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it does feel like they could have condensed this story more. But I'm still enjoying it. And the last issue was either issue 9 or 10. I can't remember. Like it really took it over the hill, like over the top of the crest, the crest of the hill. And it feels like things are starting to really come together now. So I'm into it. It's a fun book. I enjoy collecting it. I love Keanu Reeves. So it's fun to support the book. And like I said, it's entertaining. Matt Kent's a good writer. So there you have it. Very violent. If you're not into ultra violence, this may not be a book for you. That's my number 3. So I'm going to pause so we can get back to RDV's schedule.
All righty, guys. All right. So we did, I think they're on my number 2 now, I believe.
Yes.
All right. My number 2 is a book that's already been talked about here. Can you guess which one it is, kids?
I'm going to guess Berserker. Because your mouse already went over that way.
Did it?
I can see the cursor on the screen.
My love for you is ticking clock, Berserker.
Ah, I guess I'm wrong.
but
And
RDZ
yes, this only made it to my
prefer
number
Stargirl
2
because
because
he is. I can't rhyme good.
no, it's because you do not understand the love sausage. No, yeah. So basically, this is a book I've been enjoying. And also, Berserker is on my list, but not in the top 5. It's because I just wanna. I'm curious. I'm hesitant as far as what the last issue is gonna be. If it's
But
gonna
it
be
could
like,
make Thursday. It could make it, right? Maybe
yeah,
we'll see.
definitely Thursdays. Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. Only on the Geeky Puppet Show. Check out the best comics of the week. And Ash, you're welcome to join us too. And yeah, of course, you, Zach. Yeah, you can show up.
Oh, I can. Oh, I'm invited back. Oh, yes.
So basically, this little mini series has been proven to be like Jeff Johns is just saying, like, you know what? Yeah, we know what's going on with the whole Megan Fitzbarb and all that Robin set crap. Just ignore all that shit. Let's go back to the golden age. Let's go back to the good stuff. Basically, all the sidekicks have been being kidnapped through time, you know, and it's up to basically Oliver Queen's sister, Emiko, who's become, I guess she's now the Red Arrow now. I don't know why.
Yeah, she's been Red Arrow for a while, since Teen Titans and Rebirth.
But I mean, wasn't she originally not that? Because I thought in the Mike Grell they had showed her, and then she wasn't.
I don't know. Just this iteration that they've had since Rebirth has been the Red Arrow. Even though there was Mia Dearden that they could have used, no, they had to give Oliver Queen a half sister.
You know what though? I don't need Mia. Sorry.
Mia is a great character. Yeah. I will die on that hill.
Anyway, so getting back to this, for those of you, if you really enjoyed the Stargirl TV series, this is a little bit of lighter note, not as serious as the show was. But that being said, it's not completely like crazy, just hijinks, Courtney and basically Emiko decided to basically, since nobody is noticed that these heroes have gone, missing throughout time. And most people say, like, oh, maybe they just aged out and they just kind of disappeared from the limelight as they got older, because they'd be like in their 90s. Turns out in the issue 2, where basically, that, well, they're on the island, and because we saw that in issue 1 that that's where basically what's the guy's name? He's
Airwave or Dynamite or
he's the main Wing. Yeah. Wing is he's the older one. He's the old guy on the boat. You see him crash on this island. Basically, it's like the Bermuda Triangle area where we're getting at here, kind of like a thing. So this issue, like I said, is like I said already before, I've already read this. It is a fun issue, and it continues the first issue's humor and kind of like storytelling. Jeff Johns, whether he's writing Geiger, Junkyard Joe, or writing Stargirl or JSA, the guy gets it and he delivers. So you can trust Johns. Sorry, what was that guy's name? The one that complained about him? The one that played that cyborg kind of guy?
Oh, Ray Fisher.
Yeah, Ray Fisher. Screw you, Ray Fisher, because you don't understand the brilliance of Johns.
But hey. That's Zach's role to bash on Ray Fisher, not yours.
That's right. I actually liked Ray Fisher until he started going after Johns, calling him like a racist and everything.
Mm-hmm. Ray Fisher is just basically the
he's a drama queen.
He's a poor man's Brie Larson.
Well, he's a Broadway. He's like a stage actor, and he's used to having a spotlight on him.
Well, this is what happens when you hire people based on their victim status.
Well, that's true too.
They're gonna just play victim forever. Like, it's a stupid thing to get into. It's like painting yourself into a corner. Like,
yeah. All right, so this is my number 2. Like I said, it's a good callback and to basically the Golden Age, original JSA and the sidekicks, especially a really cool introduction to the characters that maybe you didn't read JSA, maybe you didn't read other Golden Age stuff, so you have no idea who these characters are. You're kind of getting an introduction to them. So this is a really cool way to introduce if they're going to do an ongoing JSA with Johns. this is the best way to do it for me personally, because you get to see the sidekicks, and it's just basically reestablishing just like how much enjoyment we get. Because I forgot how much I enjoyed him writing Stargirl. So Star and Stripes book was awesome.
Mhm.
The JSA, including Courtney in there, was cool too. That huge first story arc. Overall, like I said, it's been fun. And then Cosmo is the same thing. She talks to the rod, the cosmic rod, and it's apparently it's sentient in this. So they kept that from the show. Overall, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this book. Pick it up. If you're not, I understand. And it's not for everybody. I'll still look down on you.
I'm meaning to give it a chance just because it's Jeff Johns. Like, I don't personally have any draw towards Stargirl, but I love Jeff Johns, so I'm always open to people changing my mind. So
all right. So we're gonna go to Zach's number 2. Did anybody see Undead Quinn? There's no Undead Quinn tonight.
No, there is no Undead Quinn tonight. I wonder if he's on the road for Christmas, maybe.
I hope he's not in his car, not on the road.
Well, hopefully his car is on the road and not off the road.
He could have a sports vehicle, a utility vehicle. He could be off-roading.
I just can't win. All right, my number 4 is
Zach's our Wee Huey.
Who's Wee Huey? Oh, boys reference.
The last on our boys show, the last story arc we read, it was one of the big themes of the story arc was Huey feeling like he can't win, like he's always kind of the
butt of the joke,
butt of the jokes or whatever.
Well,
like so he's
Huey is the butt of the jokes.
Does that make you mother's milk then? It makes me butcher.
Oh, that's gross. Oh no, you'd be Frenchie.
Why is it gross that I would be mother's milk?
I remembered mother's milk because I remember that story.
His origin, yes.
That's the only thing that stands out in my head.
Is that the only thing that stands out about mother's milk to you, Zach?
Because the only story that I remember where he had. Well, I haven't caught every.
No surface traits stand out though or anything, right?
No, not surface traits, just the story. Just like Frenchie has the relationship with the female, and Butcher is like the dog, and Carl Urban, and then Mother's Milk got his power from drinking his.
He can't help it. It wasn't his fault. He was an innocent baby.
I know, but whoever
just
wrote
like he can't help his skin color, Zach.
I didn't say anything about it.
He should not hold against people.
I did not bring up his skin color.
MM's mother was a victim because she worked at a place and they were making compound.
Oh, I understand. No,
yes,
I remember the story. But Grant Morrison could have written, or not? Was it Grant Morrison?
No, Grant Morrison.
It was the other guy.
Can you imagine Grant Morrison running the voice?
Garth, not Grant. Garth.
Oh, no, Grant Morrison. No, I don't want to hear the boys at all. No. The Boys Inc.
I'm in the jungle of weeds right now. Okay, back to my number 2 book. Good Lord. Okay.
You're having fun. Come on.
I am having a blast.
He doesn't like being in the jungle. It's just too
problematic. Don't. Oh gosh, he went there again. He just as soon as I try to pull out of the station, it's like being on an airplane and you think you're about to leave the airport, and they say, "I'm sorry, folks, we need to stay on the runway for a little while longer." No, my number 2 book is one that Vinkman has already brought up. He's already talked about it a little bit. And that is Mark Waid on Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 10.
That's your number 2?
That's my number 2 book. This has been a fun series. I've been liking it. It's the perfect mixture of lighthearted action. It's got heart. It's got some character.
It's got Teen Titans. That's why he likes it.
It's got Donna Troy on the cover. Dan Mora artwork, which I gotta say I'm really loving his artwork. It's really weird. I don't know. I guess when I read through some issues of Once and Future King, and I was like, it's all right. But now that he's doing like more superhero stuff, I don't know. I think his style really goes with the.
The other thing is that the cover matches the interior. Oh my gosh!
I know. Yeah, that's rare. But I do like it. I like Mark Waid writing the Joker. He wrote him in the previous issue. I think he did a really great job. And yeah, this unlike Venkman, I actually like this new character that they created to
Of
be
course you did,
Superman's
though. He
sidekick.
killed his parents.
Why would I like that? Why would I?
'Cause
What
you're-
kind of sick
Hush.
person do you think I am? No, but no, I think it's been cool. He's got Superman acting like he's got Superman and Batman actually both of them are being this mentor father figure to him. I think it's been a really fun story. I think if you want something from DC that's not dark, it's not gritty, you want something more lighthearted, you've got some great options with DC. You've got Flash that Venkman's talked about, and then you've also got World's Finest. It's a lot of fun. So
If we don't get Paul McCartney, dude, if we don't get Paul McCartney singing in this, I'll be upset.
I don't think we're gonna get Paul McCartney singing in this. We didn't get Jerry Seinfeld doing driving in cars with comedians. So
you got to get this cover, and then you got to try and get Paul McCartney's signature for this.
No, I'm not really a big Beatles fan, actually. Like I like a few of the songs, but I'm not a huge Beatles fan.
Wow.
I don't blame them. I think they're kind of overrated.
I like
the songs. But I will say their popularity, though, they are popular.
They're very. Oh yeah, I understand why a lot of people like them.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm just more of a Beach Boys guy.
McCartney's still
cool.
alive.
So anyway, that's it.
P with the hot take. He's still alive? What?
So yeah, that's my number 2.
I used to be that guy. Wait, that guy's still alive? Yeah, back when I was young.
All right, well, time for Ash on Comics number 2. I'm actually really curious. Anytime Ash is getting more than 1 or 2 books, my antenna goes up.
Yeah, that means there was some good books coming out. Because I only get the best. That's not true. I do skip. There's some good books that I don't get, mostly because it has the DC label on it, and so I would be getting the both Batmans. I would be getting JSA, and I'd be getting Stargirl if I wasn't boycotting DC.
You want me to buy them for you, and then I can mail them to you?
That's
So
really generous,
but Ash's number 2 is Harley Quinn, the animated series, Legion of the Bats, number 3, by T. Franklin. Followed by number 1.
Spoiler alert! Jeez, I suppose you're gonna let me reveal it.
His number 1 is Namor's the Submariner Conquered Shores.
Oh my goodness!
And Zach's number 1 is Wakanda. Killmonger. All right.
So let me. You got my screen. Going back to my. Here we go.
Yes,
my number 2 for
it.
the week. Second most anticipated comic from the person you trust most. It's Chroma number 2.
I knew it. I was just gonna click on it. I forgot which order it is, though. That's all.
Man, I really enjoyed the first book. And so this is saying a lot about this book because it's $7.99, and you've probably, if anyone that's listened to me has heard me rail against, the price of comics, and I'm just like, part of the reason I don't buy some of the DCs, I'm not paying $5.99 for Detective Comics. Screw you, DC. They should be $3.99. I give a slight pass to some indie books because indie books have different print runs and creator issues or whatever. And I also give a pass on some indie books because of their formatting being different. Now, Chroma is kind of like Ultra Mega. Ultra Mega was also a $7.99 book, but they are over.
Wow, I forgot.
They are over double size. Like, this is a 56-page comic, no ads. So it's a thick book. You're getting like 2.5 comics worth of content. Now, I'd still rather have, as unintuitive as it sounds, I'd still rather have a 20-page comic for $3.99, just because I'm all about the bite-size portions and spending less over a longer period of time. I'm not all about all about the page value. Like, oh, but the book's 100 pages, Ash, so it's $10 is worth it. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but I don't. If every comic was 100 pages and $10, I'd only be able to buy a couple books. And
you know, I would hope for that $8, they should just give you a 72-page book. Just do what Xenoscope does.
Well, Xenoscope is quarterly, so
yeah.
If you're doing it monthly, that's hard. I mean, we talked. You and I talked about this last night. Of just like, how do you do a monthly book that's 56 pages? Like, this artist must be terribly fast because he's the writer and the artist. So, anyways, this was a short story appeared in Skybound X25 introducing Chroma. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of neat. I'm going to give the first issue a try. The short story didn't wow me, but it did pique my interest. And so I got the first book. Now, the short story in Skybound, if anyone happened to read it, I will say that short story has nothing to do with this comic as far as the narrative goes. It's a short story in the world of Chroma featuring different characters, and like it's just like a side story. Versus Chroma, the character you see here on the cover, her name is Chroma, and this book's about her. And so you can use that short story to get a taste of like kind of what the comic is like, but not actually the story of the characters, if that makes sense. So anyways, I tried the first issue. By the time I was done, I just found myself really like feeling satisfied. I was like, yeah, I'm really kind of into this narrative, and the art's really pretty, and there's just something about it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna stick with it. Get a number 2 and see where it goes, because I'm not buying that many comics, so that's another reason. It's like, I guess there's not that many comics wowing me. I can afford a $7.99 book, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's number 2. Like it passed some of these others. That's how much I'm anticipating. We'll see how it manages to keep my interest.
All right. Go back to here. And I'll do this. Put us back on the screen here.
Do you like my flashy transitions?
It's like the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, just like Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, they have those transition cards. Those transition cuts they do. It's like
yeah. I was just messing.
Wait. Star Wars has now transitions in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Yeah, scene transition. Come on.
Yeah, they're gonna transition Luke in the new series.
They already transitioned him from living to dead.
Everyone dies, Zach.
That's true. Not in Star Wars, dang it.
And then they brought back as a ghost.
The droids don't die.
Yeah, so they have a lot of the Force ghosts of R2D2 and C-3PO next to Yoda. And it turns out they actually were humans this whole entire time.
Oh.
Somebody pops open the lid to R2D2 and you see Warwick Davis come out, and you find out that it's canon. There's just a little.
You find out that they had their brains inside a robot.
No, that's
Darn you, Ultra Humanite!
That's too Doctor Who right there. That's too much like the Daleks.
Cyborg men. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a massive plot twist that the droids are us, and the story is long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away. And that's why these characters had the Force and stuff, but they all passed on, and the only thing that was left was their creations, which is the droids. And many, many millennia and eons later, the droids are so advanced that they're actually indistinguishable from organic life, and that's us. But we don't have the Force because we're droids.
Droids don't die.
Yeah, I already wrote a better Star Wars story than Disney.
Well, it's not that hard, to be honest.
Oh, roasted.
All right, so I'll give you a little countdown before I get to my number 1. Recap
countdown.
those. Yes. My number 5 for this week is Blood of Gods. It's from the Xenoscope Quarterly. Number 4 is World's Finest, number 10. My number 3 for this week is going back to Flash 789. Fun little story. Check it out. The number 2, as you just saw a few minutes ago, is Stargirl number 2. And I'm number 1. Number 1. Like I said, if you didn't know this is my number 1, and you have, it just shows you haven't been watching. That's all, because every once in a while, like a book comes out, and it is no matter what DC books out I'm enjoying, it kind of blows it away.
I've got
And,
one of two guesses, and
well, let
I'm
me
not
hear-
sure
give-
which one it is.
Give me a guess.
Wow. I know which book it should be, but I know you're going to disappoint me, and it's not going to be that.
I don't.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not Junkyard Joe.
Oh, see, that's the one it should be.
I don't think it's Xenoscope, and if it's not Xenoscope, then it might be Gun Honey.
Oh, Gat's Gun Honey.
Is
gotta be
it?
Gun Honey.
Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? And it's not.
It's not.
What? Turtles beat Flash?
Yep.
Wow.
What the trash? Oh my goodness.
Dude, I've been enjoying this.
Wow.
If you've not been paying attention, the last 2 issues have been coming out.
Well, I
Oh,
thought you were
man.
enjoying Gun Honey.
I thought you were enjoying Flash.
Gun Honey took a dip.
I thought you were enjoying Junkyard Joe. I was like,
I am, but this is one of those books that's like Dynamite Lives. And
wow.
Dynamite-
All right, no
yeah.
more. I get
Nice.
no more furry jokes from you.
Well, there's no furries in this. It's just turtles.
Dude, it's turtles.
Scalies. They like to be called Scalies.
Yeah.
So, turtles.
All right.
Turtles are the original anthropomorphic comic.
One of the few books that IDW has left that actually is pretty damn good. If you enjoy Eric Burnham's writing in the Ghostbusters he did for the when they had the IP, him and Dan Schoening were the creative team on there. Also, for this book here, for only for $3.99, yeah, it's a little pricey, but Ben says it's because it's an IP, they got to pay for it. Otherwise, I think it would be down to $2.99 if it wasn't. So basically, if you like the Saturday morning cartoons, you're a fan of that growing up, and it just is. And this is more than just nostalgia. And the fact that we got Casey Jones is finally making his appearance in this series, and is going against the Turtles. It's been crazy. Just like the cartoon. Every episode was better than the last, and this just feels like an extension of the cartoon. And I know that's what they're going for, and they nailed it. It's just been fun. I'm writing the nostalgia factor, but I'm also writing the fact that these are also cool new issues. So I'm really excited for this, and I'm just loving the covers, and it just makes me want another Ninja Turtle game. And for a while, Eastman was doing some. He did a few variants, but overall, it's been fun. So, I'm hoping to find this one. This is the one. It's like the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, there is a fur in here, but he's a rat, and nobody sleeps with him.
Be respectful to Master
He's
Splinter.
a man that got
How
turned-
dare you? It's
Yes.
Master Splinter.
Channel 6 News too. So it's a retail incentive cover that was just
Didn't
kinda
IDW kill off Splinter in their comic?
This is based off the.
You know what?
Saturday
I don't read the main Turtles line, so I have no idea. I'm wondering because it's the cartoon, the comedy version.
No, I get. Yeah, no, I know this is different.
Yeah.
I was just asking because I'm not
They've
100% sure, but I think I remember hearing they did something dumb like that.
Now I got a question though, big for you, Ash, because I know you like the serious Ninja Turtle stuff. Did you lead the it was the Last Ronin or whatever it was, the one that
I
had
read the first.
yeah.
I read the first issue, and it was okay. I didn't think it was near as like people were freaking raving about it, like it was Dark Knight Returns or something. I thought it was pretty decent. I would be willing to read. They were $8.99 an issue, and boom,
Yeah, I saw that.
royally screwed the pooch with they completely underprinted that first issue. Like you couldn't get it. It immediately went up to ungodly. Like people were selling them for $50, $100 for number one before issue number 2 was even out. Then there were all these delays, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I think it was only a 7-issue miniseries or something. It wasn't super long, although it did take a long time to finish. And I was like, I'm not paying 9 times $7 for these. I'll just get a collection,
How many pages
So
were they?
I'm curious to read it because I did like that first issue. enough, but not. I wasn't blown away where I was like, I need to have these. And they were super hard too. Like I hate when comics publishers make it like they're consumer unfriendly. You know, like I don't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a hassle for me to get your books. Right? Like it's one thing if it's out of your control. You know, like sometimes that happens. Like a book goes crazy hot, and it's like, oh, the store sold out of it because like it had an appearance of this. I don't mind that, but when the publisher is just doing stupid stuff like charging $9 for their books, which again, this was back before the Biden inflation. I think didn't Last Ronin come out when Trump was still president?
Right around there.
Yeah, like so. A $9 book then was different than we're viewing. Like now, we're almost kind of getting used to $7.99. Like we're like, oh, okay, we're this is the way it is.
So we're being asked how many pages was it?
I think they were like 48 pages. They were like the oversized, you know, like
for $9.
books. So you were getting like a quality production. So I mean, I don't think they were completely ripping people off.
Were they
I
hardcover?
didn't need that. No, they were like the Batman Damned. You know, that magazine size over.
Okay, because I remember some of the books that were hardcover. I remember that IDW was doing for their Ninja Turtle stuff events. They weren't trades.
Their reprint stuff, they do like deluxe hardcover things. But for their new book, these were new. I'm sure there will be a deluxe, and this isn't IDW. Wait, was it IDW? I thought it was Boom that did them.
Maybe when in Boom. I know
it's Boom.
I know IDW does a hardcover when they're releasing stuff. They're releasing.
So IDW has the rights to Turtles, but there's like a special contract. Eastman and Laird, when they sold the Turtles originally back in the day and made all these millions of dollars and stuff.
Yeah.
They like put in their contract something to the lines of they are still allowed to do their own Turtles books on their own. Like, so like, for example, like IDW has the rights. And so no one else can do a Turtles book except for Eastman and Laird. They have the right to make their own stuff. And so that's why Boom had a Turtles book. They did it because it was from Eastman and Laird. They like Boom can't just make a Turtles book, but they just happened to publish Eastman and Laird's book, which was The Last Ronin. And that's kind of why I was interested too, because those are the original guys that did the original Turtles. It's the ones that I like.
Can you imagine though if IDW just starts making the most horrible? Well, I guess they were doing the Jenica thing. And you mentioned Eastman and them, you know, this come in and they just start writing their own books of Boom, and then it just outsells IDW.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Last Ronin was so popular.
Yeah.
Their orders were like twice what their print run was. That's why it was like such a debacle, because they did something stupid where they did the final order cut off like way too early, and so they didn't meet the demand at all. They just screwed the pooch. Like this did not have. And then they tried to make reprint books, but a lot of people, you're paying $9. You don't want to. You kind of want the first printing, like,
right?
So
unless there's less print numbers for the, you know,
there
printing.
always is, man. This is another thing that confounds me to this day. First printings are worth the most because it's the first printing. That's what people want. But yet sometimes the second printing, will be like 10% of the volume, you know,
or even third printings
or third. Like the longer you go down, it's weird. It's. You would think that those printings would be more sought after because, you know, especially like today, you know, like say a Marvel comic has a popular comic and it gets into like the fifth printing. Ooh, that fifth printing might only be like 1,500 copies.
Right.
So it's super rare, but no one wants it, so it doesn't matter. And you think like that should be collectible. And sometimes it is. Like in the case of like variant covers, like I have the third printing of Berserker #1, which had like a special chromium cover, and they hard capped it at 10,000 copies. So it immediately, when it came out, went to $80. I don't think it's selling for that now. I think all the fears died down, but it's because of that. So same thing with Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man #1, the bronze edition, the bronze. Yeah, it's one of the first times they did
platinum, gold, platinum, and bronze. I think it was.
It's one of the first times, right? The gold and the silver were like on the first run. There was just variants, and they did a second printing, and they did it as bronze. But that's such a lower print run versus all the rest of this that that million. It was like one of the first comics that sold 1 million copies. And I can remember I was working in comics in that time, and people were like, "Dude, you got to get this version of it." And I was like, "I don't care about the second print run." They're like, "No, this print run is so small."
I can see why it was such a huge hit, or at least it was a huge draw, because this Todd McFarlane who's already been drawing it along with in the Amazing Spider-Man. Right. So he's the first time we start writing. I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna write. Fortunately, though, like I said, Todd needs somebody to write with him. That comes down to it,
He's not a great writer for sure.
And
I will take those Todd McFarlane Spider-Man comics, and I will compare them. I will hold them side by side with most Marvel comics today.
Yeah.
And I think they hold up. Like back then, when you had like Claremont writing and Walt Simonson, like you had David Michelini, you had like competent writers. Todd McFarlane, he stood out like, okay, you clearly are an amateur. You're not that great of a writer.
True.
But today, compared to like, Teeny Howards, T. Franklin's of the world, like I'm like, dude, Todd McFarlane looks like aces.
That's what I said. I check out Batman Spawn. Phenomenal art by Greg Capullo. Todd does the inking on it. It's weird seeing Todd doing inking on a Greg Capullo art. It's never done before. At least I've seen.
Oh yeah, he's done it lots.
I'm probably on Spawn, maybe, yeah,
on Spawn,
yeah. So it's the first I've seen it though. I gotta say though, it's like my only complaint was that the story kind of felt like these characters would never meet. It kind of like it just the story wasn't that great. But the art was beautiful. Even got a little Court of Owls in there too. And just Violator, and just it's like art was phenomenal. But yeah, so yeah, my only complaint with Todd when he was writing Spider-Man is that he made the book too serious, way too serious.
Yes, for Spider-Man, the tone was too dark.
I was like, is this a superior Spider-Man? It was like there was no jokes.
Yeah,
it was just Peter getting his ass kicked. The first 4 issue, I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it was definitely grim Spider-Man.
Torment. I was like, oh my, great art, awesome lizard, but holy crap! I felt like it used to use Spider-Man into the raptor cage at the beginning of Jurassic Park.
Yep.
That was the 80s, like coming out of the end of the 80s, and that was just that era that kind of angsty, edgy. Everything was like, Frank Miller kind of helped change that with the Dark Knight Returns and how what he did to Daredevil. That whole era just went to the whole like darker, serious, violent route, and it was just a trend. And I think Todd just leaned heavy into it. They should just have Frank Miller just write a Spider-Man and have Todd draw it.
I don't know if I would. Yeah, Frank Miller might suffer from the same thing because he's dark and grim. Like, and Spider-Man needs to be kind of funny and just joyful. In my opinion.
If Ryan Ottley's he's gonna start writing Hulk. Can we get Chichetto to replace Chip Zdarsky? I'm not enjoying this Punisher crap with the swords. Yay, let's fight now.
Well, that's not Zdarsky's fault. He didn't. That's Jason Aaron.
He's doing the whole. This is Marvel in general.
Like I said, it's Marvel, yeah. But I mean, Zdarsky owes it. Like he has to follow the continuity, and so he's doing his job by representing what Punisher is in the Marvel universe right now, even though we hate it.
Yeah. So is it Zdarsky or is it Marvel forcing to have 2 Daredevils?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that either, and so I stopped buying.
Yeah.
But Zdarsky has proven that he can write.
Yes.
So it's not a matter of Zdarsky can't do well for whatever reason, whether he's deciding to do something or someone's making him or whatever. Unfortunate, but this is why we need good editors. A good editor would just keep him blind and be like, "No, we're not doing that, Chip."
Marania, there are no weeds here. We're drug free,
and weed's legal here.
Yes, so
that is true.
I live in California. I am allowed as much weed as I want.
All right, so
I don't know if it's weed or if it's the CBD oil, but it's certainly one of those two is legal here.
All right, so I just said my number 1. Let's go. Next person.
Well,
All righty.
real quick though, just a real quick sub segue. I will be buying a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic here soon because guess who my boy Stan Sakai is doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo miniseries
with the cat
So-
lady.
with the cat lady. What are you talking about?
Next to Raphael. And I guess Yosagi's like siblings.
Oh, I think she's a fox. That's Kitsune.
I don't know. I would call her Fox. I'm not into that.
Yeah, Kitsune is typically associated with Fox.
Ninetales? Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are Usagi characters. Anyways, my point is Stan Sakai is a great writer. I love Usagi. I do love the Turtles. Don't like what IDW has done with them. I also didn't much get into the Nickelodeon cartoon versions of them. Don't begrudge anyone that did. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But this one I will be trying out, and I can. If anyone likes Turtles, I would urge you to give it. This might be a good gateway for Turtles fans to try out Usagi.
We don't promote gates here of any kind.
All right. Anyways,
Love it. Especially no comics gate. All right. Let's get to Zach now.
All right. Let's see if I
You,
can
you,
remember.
you better be ready. We've been waiting for you.
Let's see
Yeah,
if I
you
can
better be
remember
ready.
what my list was real quickly. No, my number 5 book. Where's my pull list? Actually, I had it on my one of these mini windows I had open. Okay, number 5 was Deceased: War of the Undead Gods. Number 5. Then we had number 4, which was Stargirl and the Lost Children. That's issue number 2. Number 3 was Junkyard Joe, number 3. Number 2 was Batman Superman's Finest 10. And my number book of the week. You tried to say it and beat me to it, Vinkman, and steal my thunder.
Oh, your number 1 book of the week?
My
It's
number
Junkyard-
1 book of the
Junkyard
week.
Joe.
No, that's number 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did have it at number 3.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Zach. It was number 3. So your number 1 is Batman versus Robin.
No.
Is it Flash?
Yeah.
That's fun.
P3 guesses. Yes, it is Flash number 789.
You know, I almost had Batman versus Robin on mine because I was like, Batman's wearing the helm of Naboo, or what is it, Naboo?
Yeah, Nabu. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been all right. I haven't been hating it. It's just not not up to the caliber of the other books that I have.
It was just, like I said, it was just an interesting cover. I was like, wait, he's wearing like Dr. Fate's helmet because, like, yeah, the whole what's going on with the magic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but Flash has been awesome. Jim Adams is a fantastic writer. I'm shocked I haven't really had any ongoing titles prior to this. This is as far as this is his only deal that he's ever written. Fits Wally and his family perfectly. If you want a book that has a good family story to it, I would recommend Flash and Firepower are the 2 big ones that come to mind if you want like a family-oriented comic book. It's been
Firepower,
really
which is also ending.
it's not ending. It's on a hiatus. What are you talking about? Don't say things like that. It's not ending. It's just the story arc. That
RDV and I
ended.
were speculating last night because we went through the League of Comic Geeks all the way through like April of next year, and there's no Firepower.
Well, they're probably just writing. It's not over. Like Robert.
I know, but
Kirkman's not
April
gonna-
of next year, the last issue came out 2 months ago.
September.
Was it 2 months ago already?
Yeah.
Has it been 2 months?
Up in this point, it's been like since February. It's been like every 2 months. There's been one.
Kirkman just might have plates spinning. He might be taking this time, not wanting to rush through the story.
That's
or maybe,
fine,
or
but,
maybe he's
like,
writing the new Walking Deads.
How
That's-
long has Ultra Mega been out of commission, Ash?
Yeah, but Ultra Mega's like one dude by himself. Kirkman's an empire,
That's true. That's true.
There should be something out there, at least like, hey, Firepower's still around. I don't know. It's weird
Yeah.
to like not have.
He's
any
just
info.
a dude
I
written by
agree.
another
It is-
dude.
It is very weird. So yeah, well, hey, if there's no Firepower on the shelves and you want a family-themed comic book, The Flash. Wally West has been written perfectly. makes amends, or at least it's starting to make amends for the terrible way DC's treated him prior to this. And this storyline right now, yeah, Bankman kind of touched on it earlier. You've got the Rogues hunting them down because the Rogues have been deputized by this corrupt warden of Blackgate Prison running for mayor. I think he won the election to be mayor, actually. And so he deputized the Rogues to chase him down because they don't want that. It's almost like a J. Jonah Jameson type deal. They don't want that costume vigilante running around, stealing hubcaps, eating cake, and all that stuff.
Kind of like Kingpin too. Remember, they just had that last swing with
kind of like the Devil's Reign story. Yeah, kind of. But the Rogues are always really fun to read. I think that they're very underrated in the DC villain sphere.
I love though that they basically like Jeremy Adams is kind of like what he did in the last issue with Rory and stuff. You know, playing Flash, you're all heart. It's like
well,
he's making fun of the CW Flash or Barry.
I like what he did, even with Rory, like at the start of his issues. Like,
was that him or is that Josh Williamson? Because
it was him. It was like his second or third issue on the book, and there was this thing where Rory found out he had cancer, and he went back to being Heatwave, and Flash had like caught him and had helped him out. I think it was like the second or third issue that he was on. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because Jeremy Adams and Josh Williamson just blurs right together. Kevin Shinick did the 2 stories in between with the Alchemists,
right?
The Key. So it's like it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like it's a 90s writing room, where they had 3 people sit down and they're like, here, we're gonna do this, and then
with like the Earth 3 story, you mean?
Whoa.
Where it was like him and Tim Seeley for Titans Academy and whoever was writing Squad.
I don't know about that. I'm just thinking that's actually having a writer's room and actually are like discussing things, how they're going to transition over.
Oh, yeah. But this has been just a fantastic story. Just a whole anything with Jeremy Adams' name on it. From the start of his run all up until now, I don't think there's been a book in the bunch.
Aren't you just glad they didn't be like just stop like Marvel does? Be like, okay, now number 1 Flash coming out now.
Flash is one of the few issues to actually they don't do that legacy numbering.
They are doing
they did.
They did.
They pulled out of it when it hit 750.
Yeah, they did, but they don't do it anymore. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. They're not
right. Well, that's the thing is like they hit 750, so they wanted that big number. But what number is it on now?
789. This is 789.
Okay, so actually, hold on.
It went up to 88.
So hold on. Remember Amazing Spider-Man? Because Marvel did the same thing. Like, oh, amazing. And as soon as Marvel, they get Amazing Spider-Man 800, then ASM 801, and then boom, number 1 again. And then they went back up, and then they rebooted it. So I am crossing my fingers. DC, good on you. You went back to the right number. But I don't want to see them hit 800 and then go, oh, we're past 800, so now we can go back to number 1, and then we'll wait, and then we'll change the numbering back when we get close to 900. That's
Josh Williamson actually started with 1.
Yes, that was Rebirth. Every
Rebirth.
So he went up to 88. Yeah, and then the next issue was 750.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which was really confusing because you're collecting like. I missed at least a couple hundred here. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, the industry is stupid. What they're doing, like, it's so bad. Like, I don't understand. They need people in these. They need to be thinking about the collectors, and I think that's one of the worst. Buying back issues for modern era books, and I mean like post 2000, is such a chore because they keep rebooting. There's all these multiple volumes. And sometimes they don't even change the trade dress, right? For example, Daredevil, the current Daredevil run, which is Zdarsky, they rebooted it. So you might go into the back issues and go, okay, I need issue number 1, number 2, number 3 of the first Zdarsky run. And then you're like, oh, number 4. But number 4 is actually from the second Zdarsky run. But you can't tell just from the surface. Now, at least Marvel puts legacy numbers on there. So that does help a little bit. DC could consider doing something like that as well. But it's what I'm saying? It's like annoying when you're like, is this comic follow? Because I do this on Ease Auctions all the time where he'll put up.
Yeah.
He'll put up and I'm like, wait, it's 8, 9, and 10, but is that number 10 is not from the same run as 8 and 9 there. Like,
Yep. I've caught it too. I'm looking it up. It's like I'm going like comic shop. Like that cover's not in this. So, yeah.
and then of course with the millions of variant covers, that doesn't help either.
And millions.
So you're like, wait, that's not the cover to issue 10 that I'm looking for. Oh, it's a variant.
Yeah, it could be worse. As Breen says, and you should, he says, I end up putting most of them in discount bins because I don't want to take the time to figure out which of the 15 relaunches a book is part of. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm Red Sony. I'm looking at Dynamite. Okay, so which run is this? There's goes volume 3, or like there's like League of Comic Geeks. I look at that. That was the one that I was looking it up too. I was looking like, okay, all right, first series, second series, all right, third series, and then there's volume 4. Wait, volume 4 is Amy Cho. Where's the 2005 series? I know there's one because it's confusing because it goes
so confusing.
Because it goes volume 4. And I'm like, what? No. So you're going to have volume 1 of Red Sonja. But wait, that's not volume 1. That's Dynamite's volume 1. Volume 1 is actually over Marvel. It's, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I've been reading through the 2005 series of that, and that has like over 80, I think 88 or 81 issues. And it's just one ongoing thing. There's no reboots. There's none of that stuff. None of the renumbering. It just stays in there. And yeah, I mean, look at now. Every Red Sonja book is like it goes up to like 15 or 20 if you're lucky, and then it's rebooted, and it starts back to number 1 again. I don't know. All right, so we're Zach. We took up your time on this. Is there anything else you want to say about this book?
No,
we're out of time.
No, that's it. Just if you want something fun, you want something light, not dark, not terribly written, not depressing, pick up Flash. You won't regret it.
Also, Pete, to answer your question about when arcs that crossover with 12 other titles, what I do, I know if I have like, say, well, look at Post and Zach drink now. Post Crisis, go to Superman. You have 3 titles that you basically read from one title to the other, and then you start over again. And do you want to collect those in the order of the story it is? I don't even care about the title anymore. So I have Superman, Adventures of Superman, and then I have Action Comics, and then I just keep going that order as I go down the box, because that's the way you're supposed to read them. Crazy, right? It's like you had 3 creative teams, and they all sat down and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do this part. Like, cool. Then I'll do this. And he's like, yeah. And then they'll do that, and then it goes back over that person. It just keeps going. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, why is it so hard for people to do that these days? Why do they?
Because I don't think it's hard. I just think they don't care. They're not putting in that extra effort to really consider like what the fans and the readers like what's best for them. They just put out a product and they're like, deal with it.
But don't you think it makes more sense as being a profit if you put on good books, but you also want to have 2 titles? Like right now, it's cool. I can make the 2 targets. There's right now with Batman. I like Ram V and I like Detective. Right now, they're not crossing over. They're 2 different stories. But imagine if you had to read that story in order to get the full story to keep going back and forth each month comes out. To me, I think that would be cool because it actually gets you to buy both books.
Yeah, but it also annoys a lot of fans who don't want to buy multiple books. Some fans just are like happy, like they like a book. Like I was this way back in the day with X-Men. I got really annoyed when it was like, oh, the story crosses over with New Mutants and X Factor. I'm not interested in those books. I just want my X-Men. And I just bought X-Men every month. And then I'd have to buy the damn crossovers when they would do. And they usually did like 1 a year in the summer. So it wasn't terribly big deal. But, nowadays it would be like every freaking 2 months it'd be a crossover. But, if you're really into it, like I didn't understand because back then I wasn't a big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man was the first comic to have 4 titles.
Yes, crossing
when
over.
they launched the Todd McFarlane one, and I was like, I don't understand how people buy 4 Spider-Man books. Like, then even when I did
5.
get into
I said
Spider-Man,
still-
all I bought was Amazing. I didn't care about Spectacular, and I didn't care about Web. And I eventually I did get the Todd McFarlane one because everyone was
Yeah.
buying that. But yeah, I think sometimes, like me, I just want my monthly book. Like I hated when DC was doing their bi-weekly. Remember when they were doing like Batman Detective like every 2 weeks? Because that's another way of doing it. It's like you could just do the book twice a month instead of
Sure.
having books. But then
But
that puts a lot of stress on the buyer.
To me, I thought it was kind of cool because you actually had different creative writers writing it, and you're getting different art styles. But you're also, to me, for Superman, it was all Superman. Same with Spider-Man, it was all Spider-Man. Now, like you said, X-Men and the New Mutant stuff, it's like, okay, now you're getting like more characters. It's not that the same main character is the main character, right? Like when they did a crossovers, was it like, say, Wolverine's story, and then he goes into New Mutants? Is Wolverine still the main character, or is it just like a side thing, like a front lines, tie-in?
Well, in the case of those books, yeah, like they would be like, okay, now the X Factors are going to be more prominent in the story because
Yeah.
it's their title.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than what you're saying. I'm just using that for my own personal reference because that was me.
Yes.
But my point is still the same. Like sometimes people don't want to be obligated to buy more than like kind of what their personal budget or desire allows. Like for some people, that's awesome. Like they're like, I love Batman so much, I'll buy 10 Batman books a month. Like they're cool with it.
Yeah,
but some people aren't that way, and so you have to balance that.
Like I said, I like the fact that you had Jerry Ordway, you had Dan Jurgens, you had Marv Wolfman, you had John Byrne, all these, these different writers, working together. So I was getting the greats working together on the same character on 3 different titles, Nowadays you wouldn't really see that.
See, what I like, actually, what DC, it's funny because I'm boycotting DC, but I really like what DC is doing with Batman right now. You got Detective Comics and you have Batman. You got Chip Zdarsky and you got Ram V, 2 of the best talents in the business right now, both with very different styles. So as a Batman fan, if you really love Batman, you got 2 really great Batman books. But let's just say one of their styles doesn't mesh with you. Well, then you still have the other one, and you don't feel obligated. True. Like, it's not crossing. Like, you don't go, oh, to be continued. Like, Batman, the end of the story can be continued in Detective Comics, and then read Detective. Oh, to be continued. You're not feeling like I got to go back and forth. You don't have to. So you can have 2 different Batmans if you want, if you're liking them both, like I personally do. Mm-hmm. Or you can just get the one you like if only one is your cup of tea. And I think that's the way to do it. And only for books that can really support it, like Batman. I hate when they force it on, like, if Aquaman had 2 books. Like, what are you doing? There's sometimes they do titles like that where it's like some D-list character and they've got like multiple books and you're like, what? Weren't we just talking last night? Like, there's 2 Wakanda books.
Yeah.
Don't like, what are you doing?
Don't know if they cross over, but one's where Shuri's the Black Panther, and the other one's Black Panther. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even do X-Men right. You're going to do 2 Wakanda books?
No, the thing we're talking about is the fact that variant cover Black Panthers. But no, Austin P. Yeah, the Spider-Man was a little different for me because I don't like it when there's a huge art change. Like, it's like right now, if you have Dan Moore doing the art on one book, and then you have Riley Rossmo on the other one, it's supposed to be the same story. It's like, oh God, I got to slug through this just to read it. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. And that's kind of what Spider-Man was for me.
And also, just as a correction, Austin, I have been reading Batman. I borrow Venkman's copies. And I've been doing actually reviews. I gave Chip Zdarsky's Batman, I gave a rare 5-star review. So if you're curious on my thoughts.
The last one?
Not the very last one, no.
Not that I like it, and it makes sense because why, of all the things that Batman's done, why would he not be able to go into re-entering this from space?
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I thought people were just about everything that was going on. People were like, "He can't do that. That's ridiculous." But I love how Ferrugo says, "Like, bro, he's really smelling the Frankenbeans."
You know what kills me is the same people that are like getting on like YouTube and being like, "This is so ridiculous," blah blah blah. These are the same people that will tell you like that they love Fast and the Furious. And I'm like, the dude jumped a car from one skyscraper to another. Like you watch stuff like you're totally cool with stuff like that, but then when Batman, who fights gods in space, when he comes out of, come on.
They drove a
Batman
car
is
into
literally
space.
DC's Iron Man. If Iron Man had done that, no one would have a problem. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's outlandish. It's absurd. But sometimes you have to put the absurdity a little bit, on the back. Like just put it a little bit in the back and go, okay, I'm gonna swallow this. Especially if it's well done and Zdarsky's telling a fun tale. It's comic booky. If it were bad, like Eric Breen said it right. Like if Teenie Howard wrote that story, we'd all be shitting on it. But it's a well done book.
All right. I'll just say that if you think it's okay for them, Ludacris, to build a car that can go into space, the rocket jet,
Hey, that movie is fun. Okay,
But you're upset with it, but Batman can't survive.
I'm not
free fall?
upset. No,
Yeah,
I was never upset about that.
I'm just saying there are people who are like that though, and I agree with that. It's kind of weird.
And they're the kind of people that cannot sit back and enjoy a Fast and Furious movie.
Hold on, different frictional properties have different standards, different levels of suspension of disbelief.
That is true. That is absolutely true, Austin.
Yeah, sure.
Like, and here's the thing: you set up your standards in your story by your writing. And I think when you read that whole story in context, not just the last issue, when you read Chip's story, you see that he's setting up a high octane, like over the top comic booky style of Batman. So it fits within his context, his world. He sets you up for it. If that same thing happened in, say, like the Ram V Detective Comics, I would be like, what? This feels like way out of place, because his story is way different and he sets that up for you. So like you understand as the reader what to expect. And that's the thing. Like, I think that's what matters between suspension of disbelief and not. Like, if the writer sets the boundaries and then stays within those boundaries, it works. So for example, Fast and the Furious, it's like, okay, this is what you're establishing. It's supposed to be like. To me, it's too over the top, but I don't fault it because that's what they're trying to do, and it works for the people that like it. So there you go. But if you put that in, say, like the Daniel Craig James Bond, we'd all be like, nope, time out, nope, wrong, because it's not the same tone. Hopefully that makes sense.
All right, so Ryan's bringing up the whole Iron Man armor design to go into space with reentry. Batman is shark propellant his utility belt. I think most people probably they don't read the comic books, but they look at, oh, he's just Adam West. He's just wearing his cloth. He's not wearing any protection.
All I'm saying is it's more believable to me that Batman could survive reentry from orbit than him facing Darkseid. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you can buy that he could face Darkseid and walk away, you should be able to buy the other thing.
Right? What was that? Justice League Dark, I think was it? That's what it was, yeah. The last animated movie they had, he was under like Darkseid's control, and then he turned on Darkseid and just kicked the crap out of Darkseid. I don't know. Batman in space. Yeah, pigs can be in space. Why can't Batman be in space? All right. So, Ash, we're down to you for your number one.
Down to me.
So, give us a little recap of your books, sir.
Oh, you're challenging my memory here.
Well, I'm not challenging. Your old age is challenging your memory.
Oh,
yes, it is true. So, hopefully I get my countdown recap right. Number 5, Good Boy. Number 4, I believe it was Vanish. Number 4, yes, Vanish. Number 4. Number 3, Berserker. Number 11. And number 2 was Chroma. Number 2. And for number 1, oh, you can't handle the truth. The number 1 most anticipated comic,
Harley Quinn.
Gru the Wanderer. Number 1, Gods Against Gru.
Weren't you just giving him flack about having a Junkyard Joe?
Just kidding. It's Junkyard Joe.
I was gonna say, it's like,
I was about to say.
Gru is on my short list. It's number 6. And if you've never read Gru, you should try it sometime. It's a funny book. It's a cartoon book, but if you think a spoof of Conan and like really silly spoofy, and you like, then Gru is up for you. But anyways, Junkyard Joe, Jeff Johns at his finest. I gave issue number 1 a rare 5-star review. I think I've given like less than a handful of 5-star reviews this year. So Junkyard Joe number 1 really blew me away. Fantastic art by our boy Gary Frank. Jeff Johns just showing what a master he is of his craft, and I'm very eager to see where this goes because it's starting off stronger even than Geiger did, and I really liked Geiger, but it was kind of a slow burn up until the end where it just ended fantastically for me. This is like starting off really strong, so I'm like, wow, if it ends as strong as Geiger did in Relation, this will be great. And I was not looking forward, like, of all the different unnamed characters that's part of this universe, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a shared universe that Johns is doing. And Junkyard Joe is the second character. They're called the Unnamed, and it looks like what he's doing is kind of like what Marvel did in the MCU, where they did all these like solo movies and then they brought them together to the Avengers.
Yeah, they had like that timeline they mapped out.
Yeah, so it looks like Johns is doing something similar here, where he's doing these individual book series, and then they're eventually going to come together in the Unnamed. I don't know for sure. It just that seems that way, and yeah, this is I was like, out of all of the different characters that are part of the Unnamed, I was like, Junkyard Joe seems the least interesting, and he does appear in Geiger. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. He's a robot soldier, boring, like. But the story is not what you think. That's what's really interesting about this. Is it doesn't look the book is not what it seems on the surface. It's not just, hey, look, here's a robot soldier, he fights people. There's a lot more to it. A lot of humanity here. A lot of telling of the human condition. And it got me to tear up. So. I'm very much anticipating this book, and hopefully it stays as strong as it's been.
all
Right on. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I love the whole Geiger universe thing that he's building.
Yeah, like I said, it's been fun a ride so far with this. Something I would hope that AWA would have done with their series, their comic books, but it's been kind of weird. Because I want more. I kind of want some crossover with Erratic. Where they're doing the Heroverse, but I haven't seen anything else.
Yeah, I know. There's only been a couple of books that are actually part of their hero universe. That's another weird thing that AWA is doing that I don't understand is. They have they're called the Reborn, which is like their heroes, and their comic called The Resistance is like the origin of their superhero universe.
Yeah.
But there's only a couple of comics that are part of the actual superhero universe. Erratic is one. I think Telepath was one.
Yep.
And I think, wasn't there like a Batman-esque book?
Not sure, but
something Knight, like it was...
Telepaths and Erratic crossing over. Wow.
Yeah, there was like a Knight book or something. It was like a total like rip off of Batman, but it was pretty cool. Anyways, there's only a couple of these books, and they were just miniseries, and I'm like, how are you? These should be ongoing titles, and then that way it has the opportunity for them to cross. But maybe they've got a bigger plan. I don't know. Maybe they're just slow rolling it. But what I was going to get at is the majority of their books are not part of this universe. Like they did the whole Nazi vampire book. They do that Hotel Hell. They do a lot of horror stuff. Clearly not part of. And I wish they would like separate it. I wish there was like a visible imprint so you could look at the AWA books and tell, like, hey, this is part of our shared universe. Because sometimes it's not obvious.
Well, the AWA should be one thing, and Upshot should be the superhero verse.
Or there you go.
Let's get rid of the stupid dual names.
Yeah, that dual name thing is confusing as hell. Like, why do you have that? Like, it's almost like one guy was like, "We'll call ourselves AWA," and the other one's, "No, I like Upshot Comics." No, why don't we just be both? Oh, okay, that's what it feels like. But yeah, Zach, have you read Erratic?
Not yet. It's on my list of books to get to.
Dude.
I've been hearing some good things about it. I've heard it's very similar to Spider-Man. What? Okay, yeah, dude, I hear you.
Dude.
First of all, like the trade for the first series, it's only $9.99. 6 issues in a trade. You can go find it.
Nice. Oh, very nice.
Cheap. It's like
very cheap.
This new one is only
don't pay $9.99 for some worthless DC holiday special that you're gonna hate.
Take that $9.99 specials. I learned my lesson last year.
Take that $9.99 and go buy Erratic Volume 1. Read it. Come back and thank me and RDV and Skip and everyone else who's loved this book. I think you especially will enjoy it.
Oh, I know I will. I've heard
even if you're not particularly a major Spider-Man fan, you are a Spider-Man fan, aren't you?
I like Spider-Man, not as much as Vinkman does.
Right.
But I do like Spider-Man, though.
Okay, so you like him, you're just not a mega fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Not as much as I
think you're going to appreciate it, though, because it's got the style of joyfulness to it. It's not like a grim, dark.
Yeah.
It's not it's like, it's that fun. It almost feels like the more attitude of like classic DC, even more than Marvel, and even though it feels like Spider-Man, it's hard to explain, but I think I just think you'll enjoy it.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, I could also get a Big Mac and fries from McDonald's that'll make me sick for $10.
Me too, if we end this stream.
And I'll have more fun with that than with the Megan Mixed Martin book.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I do really like the whole, young adult, teenage superhero concepts. And Erratic seems to have a lot of that, and it seems to be like it's Carrie Andrews. I love Carrie Andrews' art. So
all right, so
it's on my list. It's on my short list of books.
Oh man, I might have to get this cover.
Oh, the Geiger one, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, the one with him and Spawn and the two-headed dog.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
All right.
Now, in addition to all of these fine books that are coming out this week, are we looking at the hardcovers?
Yep.
Because there's one that caught my eye, and I'm going to try to find it. I got a little extra spending money for Christmas. I may buy myself a present.
We got the Flash Eclipse with the collection of basically right here. That's the Jeremy Adams.
Yeah, that's
story.
The Gem World. That's one where he teams up with the Justice League Dark.
Yep.
Which was fun. That was the one where he and Dr. Fate, they have that issue that breaks the fourth wall to the reader. That was a real fun issue. That's not what I'm excited about, though.
No, but cool mention here. Fantasy 4 Life Story. You should avoid that.
That's not what I'm looking for either. What I'm looking for is right there. On
Swamp
that right corner. No, not Swamp Thing. What's to the right of Swamp Thing?
Oh, the John Byrne.
John Byrne Fantastic Four Omnibus hardcover. Where She-Hulk. Yeah, it doesn't give a price. No, actually, I bet you I can go to In-Stock Trades and I could find you a price right now.
But
yeah. I'm gonna look for that one.
I am picking out Death of Superman. This is oversized deluxe edition. I would have loved it. It would have been cool if they would have had the return as well, like the original omnibus. They had the death and the return. That's like $80 I saw just for like the soft cover. Overall, it's basically you get the original story, plus includes the new 4-issue story that came from that by Dan Jurgens. The new what's he going to call it? crap, I can't remember what his name is. Doomsday, the new Doomsday, where basically the story we get to see.
Oh yeah, the forearm, the one with the forearms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's included in here too. So, and then basically, like, I guess he has artwork in the book, in the back of the book too, sketches stuff. It's $40 listed here. It's probably cheaper on InStock Trades. I'm getting a little cheaper at my comic book store.
$40.
Yeah.
The John Byrne Omnibus you can get for $83 on organic priced books.
Well, dude, Deadly Class is $50 per hardcover.
Yeah, but how many pages is it?
I don't know offhand. I'd have to go count or look it up.
It's not. I mean, it is. At least Death of Superman's over 300 pages, so
yeah,
it's not terribly. Seems a little expensive, but
I'm probably paying probably around a little bit over 30.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. All right. So then we got the Batman Silver Age Omnibus hardcover for $100. It's going out this week. We have Batman Killing Time. I believe that's Tom King, right?
Killing Time? Sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because now I remember. Yeah, because this is where the Catwoman and the Riddler team up.
Oh yeah. The comic everyone's trying to forget.
Yeah, right.
It feels like that's the case with all Tom King books. We just try to forget that they existed.
It's that one good book from Dan Slott.
Yes.
It's the She-Hulk.
The She-Hulk is actually pretty good for Dan Slott. I'll give him that. Alice in Borderland Volume 4 trade pack, which is actually, guess what? Tomorrow. Actually, no, not tomorrow, but Thursday is when the actual second series comes out, second season on Netflix. That's based off of this.
Oh, okay.
Yep, three friends get caught in this. They're in Tokyo. Basically, they live. They basically caught in this deadly game where they're forced to play basically like games. Different scenario stuff in order to survive, and they each get like a card, kind of like And if they get the full deck, it's rumored that they can leave the game world and go back to their real world. So it's kind of crazy. All right. Books of Magic Omnibus Volume 3. All right. Superman Birthright. I'm not sure who wrote that one.
I think I wrote that one. I don't remember who it was that wrote it though.
It's Mark Waid, 1 through 12. Reinvent Superman for the 21st century in this 12-issue miniseries. Follow Clark Kent as he travels and defends adopted world, forms relationships with the future adversaries, and learns to balance his life as a mild-mannered reporter in Superman. Yep.
Undead Quinn is here, and he's giving off some of his.
Hey, there he is.
I told you if we stay up long enough, he'll show up finally.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Undead.
Well, he's got a raise from the grave. He only does that at night.
Oh, that's true. He is undead. He's only got 4 books this week. You didn't have Ash has 6 books this week, and Undead Quinn only has 4. Things are not balanced.
I think.
Yeah, come on, Undead. You're missing out on some good stuff.
His number 4 is Gretzko. Out to Lunch launches. Number 4. Is issue 4 is number 4. All right. His number 3 is Berserker, issue 11. One more issue after this. Issue 12. His number 2 is Deceased War of the Undead Gods. Number 5. And number 1 is I Hate Fairyland. Issue number 2, cover B. I look how he puts out exactly what cover he's getting. That's kind of cool.
It matters. I mean, sometimes. Yeah,
yeah.
Like for me, same thing was with Vanish getting the Daniel Warren Johnson covers. Oh. I'm curious. Going back to these hardcovers, I'm curious about this Knights of the Pendragon.
Yeah. I also want to mention this. And thank you, Eva Black Cat, saying Superman Birthright was basically Mark Waid's attempt to bring back pre-crisis Superman. One we didn't like. Super dick. All right, so there's Knights of Pendragon. I have to open a new tab for that one. But
It's a Marvel UK book. I never.
It's Dan Abnett and John Tomlinson with Andy Lanning doing the ink.
And Alan Davis doing the art,
Yeah.
who's amazing. Well, I guess he did that.
So it has the complete. Well, there's like 3 volumes. It looks like there's yeah,
it's 1,000 pages. It's a massive. I just love Alan Davis. I love like what he did with Excalibur, which obviously Captain Britain. I never read these because they're Marvel UK.
From
And
1990.
And I do like Dan Abnett, and Dan Abnett's British, so of course, as Skip will tell you, that makes him a better writer. But also, it makes him writing British comics more authentic because he knows the culture better, probably, than most Americans.
So it says, since the days of King Arthur, the mystical Green Knight has been the protector and the embodiment of Britain. Gee, where have we seen the Green Knight, Zach? Yeah, if you've been catching up with Immortal Red Sonja, the Green Knight's been there because they've been doing the King Arthur stuff. Continuing, it says, now as the Earth faces environmental disaster. Oh, crap, really? Growing Avatar now. This kid's including, it says basically several unlikely champions, including Detective Dai, or D-A-I, I guess, I don't know. Thomas and reporter Kate McKillen. And writer Ben Gallagher find themselves empowered to protect the land. But what are the mysterious spirits of the Pendragon? And can these newly minted heroes, along with Union Jack and World War II hero Albion, unravel the mystery of the Omni Corporation and stave off the arcane evil of the Bane? It's a moody and suspenseful thriller. Moody, really? Is this... Who's writing this again? Stan Abnett. Okay. When I think of Moody, I think of Alan Moore. Sorry. Suspenseful thriller, and only Marvel UK can provide. And when the Knights formally become a superhero team, they'll face the menace of Mystech, Baron Blood, Death's Head 2, and Bane's terrifying monster, the Red Lord. Dun dun dun. Collecting Knights of Pendragon from 1 through 18 from 1990, and Knights of Pendragon from 1992, 1 through 15, and Mystech Wars 1 through 4, and Dark Guard 1 through 4. Hardcover, 1,016 pages.
I'm just curious if it's any if it's any good. I thought Marvel UK did some interesting things. And the whole British invasion was around that time.
I forgot it's Marvel. I was like, how they got all these characters here? It's a Marvel.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is like they did a lot of characters that were kind of unique to Marvel UK. They didn't really cross over. So that sometimes you get Death's Head, that's a Marvel UK character. So it's almost like there's like a subsidiary of Marvel. But I do really like the British style of writing and the things that they were doing. They just had a different sensibility that they brought over to comics during that time. And I'm just really curious. I love, like I said, I already like Captain Britain and Excalibur, and I like King Arthur stuff. I'm just curious if anyone's read this series. That's you, Eric Breen. If this is worth checking out. So
there's Dynamite art of Jay Anticello or Anna Sleto? I don't know. It's over 192 pages. For $40, hardcover. It has Vampirella, Red Sonja, Deja Thors, and Chaos Comics, plus demons, wizards, monsters, and superheroes. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. If you like art books, I might look at it. Take a gander at it if they have it at the store.
Undead says the first books of magic was way better than Harry Potter. As someone who was buying the first books of magic, and it's pretty good, it's nowhere close to Harry Potter. I'm sorry.
So here is the other there's the Ivan Rise variant for the Death of Superman, and then they have the deluxe here, the direct market exclusive variant. But I'm just
Eric says
normal one.
Marvel UK is a staple of the dollar bins. Pick a couple up and read them before you invest in an omnibus. That makes really good sense.
Yeah.
If I had dollar bins.
Life Zero by Ablaze. This is Marco Cicchetto doing the art here. It is a 6-issue little kind of like a zombie, but not your typical zombie book. Art's beautifulness, storytelling is just as equally as good. Check it out. $25. All right, then we're going into manga here, but then we have here's the other one, the cover here for the Knights of Pendragon. Then we go into Yaoi, I guess. Guy on guy mangas. All right, cool. All right, Kanto, Tales of the Unnamed Worlds. Of the Unnamed World. Huh. Isn't that a game?
Kanto was an IDW original comic. Wes at Thinking Critical was hot on it. He was saying how it was a really great comic.
$18.
And he's the one that turned me on to Blade Runner 2019, and I doubted him on that book, so it makes me kind of want to try out Kanto.
David M. Booher, and artist is Drew Zucker. Sebastian Perez is the artist of the cover. Still on the mend following this most recent confrontation with the Shrouded Man, Kanto must search for allies to stand by his side in the inevitable final battle. And who could ask for a better ally than the fearsome giants? But to earn their allegiance, he'll need to solve the labyrinth outside their city and slay the monsters that lurks at his heart. Not all battles require swords, however, as our little knight proves, when he and his friends find their home blocked by a bard who demands a very strange toll. Story he's never heard before, and it's a challenge unlike any Kanto's ever countered. All right, and this collects 1 through 3, Kanto and the City of Giants, and then Kanto Tales of the Unnamed World 1 and 2. So, $18. Go wrong with that.
Very nice.
And there's One Piece.
One Piece.
Compendium.
Nice.
One Piece Color Walk. Oof, bad name.
No, that's where they actually like color in the pages.
I know, but it's
they actually look really good when they're in. They look fantastic.
All right. And then there's colorless up here. Yeah, BRPD, Power Rangers Volume 5, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man Omnibus, Volume 2, $100. Catwoman, Loneliest City will be lonely on the comic book store because I don't think anybody's gonna buy it. This is the DM exclusive variant for $30 here. Captain America, Symbol of Truth, Volume 1. And then yeah. Strange
I might have to go scour the dollar bins for these Pendragon books.
I definitely would.
If I could get these for $1, this would be a fun series to collect in back issues.
If you
These covers are really cool on some of them.
If you guys
Iron Man, Iron Man does a guest appearance and he's like riding with the knights in a round table. Like, yeah.
Let me know if you guys want any. I might have some Young Blood, Wetworks, some Cyber Force, and all the other dollar bit issue books. That's all, and some Malibu, a lot of manga in there too, but a lot of freaking John Byrne Next Men in there, or next. Then you have I've seen some.
Next
of them,
Men was a fun series.
I've seen some of the Nexus books in there too. So
you can probably get all the Next Men in dollar bin except I forget which issue. It might be in like 19.
Yeah, probably.
There's one issue around in there that's like the first appearance of a Hellboy, and that's like $100 for that issue. But every other issue is like $1. All
right,
and it's worth getting. It's fun.
All right, kids. That's gonna be it for this week. Let us know.
That's it. There's nothing more.
There's nothing more.
There isn't any more.
We've gone for we're going into like NBA finals now. Almost as long as an NBA game or basketball games. All right, we're seeing 21. I'm not sure what 21 is. What is obscure number 21? They didn't say 23.
Was
21.
21 the first appearance of Hellboy? I thought it was 19. I can't recall.
All right, No Guns Life, a great read for manga, Cyberpunk. All right, and it's reminding me, yes, if you like this type of content, you want more of it, we ask that you do it. If you haven't done so, subscribe. This is the second time we're asking you. We're going to ask you like multiple times during the streams now. Support this channel if you want to. You can do it multiple ways. You can drop money in our Ko-Fi bin, which is ko-fi.com/Palpatine. The money goes basically towards the ratings that we use, and the apps we use for those, the Marvel app and the DC app, and also goes towards the streaming basic app we use here, StreamYard. Obviously, we use the premium, so we can do all little fancy things in here on that channel. It's really cool. I mean, it's a good investment if you say you do a lot of streaming. StreamYard I recommend it, and they don't pay me for that for showing it, but you could pay me for using it. No. Also, other ways to share out. Say I know everybody's strapped for cash this season. A holiday and stuff. But just word of mouth. Share out the stream. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what your top 5 is this week. And also be sure to show up on Thursday 8:00 Central. We're gonna be coming back here. We're gonna follow up and just see top 5 books tonight made it into our top 5 and the best books of the week. With that being said, I hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you next time. And thank you, as always, for showing up, Zach. Even though you're not needed, but hey, now welcome to Ash.
Roasted.
Golly, even in the spirit of Christmas, he just couldn't let a whole stream go without roasting me. That's okay. I will take the high ground, and I will say thank you for having me, Bankman.
I'm more in a bah humbug because I'm having a freaking white Christmas. I'm having a white blizzard.
You're the one getting the white Christmas this year, not me.
Are you having a white Christmas?
I'm having a freaking where power goes out and I'm freezing to death.
You choose to live in Wisconsin. That's
I was born here. I can't exactly just leave, bro.
You can always move.
All right, Zach. We want to be roommates.
No.
Remember that next time you roast me for living in Southern California.
You guys make a good point.
Well, I look at it this way: either I'm surrounded by earthquakes and a bunch of liberals, or it's like freaking balls hot, or I got tornadoes, or I got
wherever
hurricanes.
you go, there's going to be a downside.
There's something everywhere.
I look at it this way: I can make igloos, and I can just just hang out outside. Well, plus the plus side, I can put my beer right in the snowbank.
That's true.
Yeah.
Breen, none of my Christmases are white. We had snow one time in 30 years. None of my Christmases are white.
Oh, they're all white.
And we'd also especially like to thank you from the bottom of our heart, Zach, for not going on camera tonight.
Ha ha ha! Yeah, Wi-Fi around me has been spotty today, so
it's weird.
Trying to make sure that my voice at least has been coming through. So
a little bit robot, but not too bad. We can still understand you.
Okay.
Work on that so we can't understand you.
You want to not understand me? Okay.
We want robot Zach.
Sure.
All right, so we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys. See you
Read
Thursday.
good comics.
Read bad ones too. Suffer
Suffer like I have suffered.